see. Not this one. Nope. I don't think it's this one. Okay, so today, what we're gonna do is continue learning. But before we start on learning, I want to show you guys something. Something I found on the internet that I think is pretty neat. So, this is Theo Prompts, a YouTube channel. Essentially, I don't know exactly what he does, but I was looking for some sort of a tutorial or somebody who could show me just how good AI video is. And this guy does a pretty good job. He compares the same scenario with several AI. So he uses Runway, Haluo. Oh my gosh, does it have to be so difficult? Like, I got comments about my branding, like my entire brand platform for fun that I have. And this is professional tool that people actually use on a daily basis, and it's a real tongue twister, let me tell ya. Huh? I don't know why exactly, but for some reason I forgot to start some sort of music. I'm feeling inspirational today. Let's see what we can find. Inspirational. I don't know how to spell inspirational at all. Nah, it's gonna be good enough. Okay. Okay. Cool. I mean, kind of like, it's kind of, you know, it sounds like, I don't really like it. Oh, nice. But no, I'm not gonna use this one. You can't see shit I'm viewing right now, but just trust that I'm trying to select the best beats I possibly can. But what I really want is something that would really hit, you know? It's very hard to find something like that. Maybe my prompting is not the right one. I should try something different. Kawaii! Oh no, thank you. Lo-fi music, no copyright. Copyrights, no copyright sounds. Best of. Sure, let's try the best of. Right, so what's interesting about this is Kling AI. Let's check it out together.
You've had time. Where's the boy?
I've searched every canyon, every settlement. It's like he vanishes. I can't find him.
He's a child. You're a professional. Or so I was told. I have no use for the weak. No more delays. I'll find him myself.
Kling is it.
Okay, so I do see a couple of places that are wrong here. Not necessarily wrong, just that I would like for it to be changed. But it's just my private opinion. Like, I don't know. I don't really like when it's weird like that. Like, for example, when he falls right here.
No use for the weak.
Right, this moment when he falls.
I have no use for the
Man, it's just so. I don't like it. I want it to be a little bit snappy, you know, to incentivize the point that this guy just fell hard and he was killed. I wanted to go splat, kaboosh, you know? So, yeah, that didn't happen. So, of course, it's not perfect, but...
some really big upgrades with the new Ray 2 models. So inside Luma, for some reason...
And then there's Luma. Let's see how good it is. Oh, it's interesting.
Time. Where's the boy?
I've searched every canyon, every settlement. It's like he vanishes. I can't find him.
It's an interesting shot. What the hell? Peace.
I have no use for the weak. No more delays. I'll find him myself.
Okay, I mean, it's
So,
interesting.
Which one do I think turned out the best?
I guess
I
the
actually really like the Hailua one. The confrontation scene.
let's see
Next
how
up, we'll
does the
try
Hailua one
This
looks
one
like.
is one of my favorites.
Hold on.
It's really good at
Lip
expressive character
syncing.
animation.
There we go.
You've had time.
It's pretty good.
Where's the boy?
I've searched every canyon, every settlement. It's like he vanishes. I can't
I
find
don't know. I can't find him. Why did he do that? He squatted at the end. Here doesn't look like he's being choked. It looks like
I
he
have
is
no use for
saying.
the weak.
It
No
looks
more
like he
delays.
just saw
I'll find
something
him
very
myself.
confusing and he just doesn't know what to do with himself.
I really like the way this turned out.
So yeah,
whole
no, I don't
confrontation
know.
scene.
I don't like it. This is Runaway. I'm in a runaway.
You've had time.
You what time?
Where's the boy?
Where's the
I've
boy?
searched every canyon, every settlement. It's
Every
like he
canyon, every
vanishes.
settlement.
I can't
Like
find
he
him.
furnished. Peace for the peace of our world.
I have no use for the weak. No more delays.
So it's very funny.
find him
It's
myself.
very funny. Yeah,
Overall,
but despite all of the, I don't know, all those small details that just don't seem to be very fine and that could be improved upon in AI, overall, I really think that it's a very, very amazing tool that will just keep getting better and better. All right, let me introduce what we're going to do today. So last week, we had 2 sessions and we tried to learn programming. We tried to learn programming and we started with the syntax of C++. The plan is very simple. I'm just going to give a very quick recap of the entire plan. And the plan is to, first of all, go over the syntax in W Free School. So if you don't know W Free School, it's a free resource. Anybody can log on and just learn syntax. And there are practical examples plus exercises. So it's a very good way to actually learn. Yeah, learn any kind of program, really. I mean, look at this shit. It has... no, those are not the scripting. This is SQL for servers, Python, Java, PHP is technically scripting, I guess, but it's very similar to C, I guess. C#, I guess. Then there's C, C++, C#. I don't know about Bootstrap. You have React, MySQL, which is, I don't know what it is, but I'm betting it's also a scripting language or something like that. Hell, they even have tutorials on Excel. So they have a lot of resources, and just look at those resources. There are so much resources. You can even learn Go or even AI. What is this? Okay, so you can learn about machine learning and artificial intelligence and whatnot. This is a very interesting diagram. So if you don't know that artificial intelligence, the term artificial intelligence has been thrown around left and right. Like constantly, people would say artificial intelligence, even if they, especially businesses, even if they mean narrow AI. So we did have narrow AI for quite a bit of time. So narrow AI is usually composed of algorithms. So it's not AI and that we're familiar with. Like it's not the same AI as AI, let's say, that we just watched. It's completely different. So AI that we watch was done by deep learning algorithms, and it's the strong AI apparently. So this is a very interesting diagram. It has a couple of concepts like machine learning, neural networks, and so on. And there's actually examples. And it even gives presentations on how neural networks actually work. At least neural networks in the way we understand it, since human beings don't actually understand fully the human brain. And just recently, yesterday, I was watching a video about how there's researchers did a study. They took a group between, if I'm not mistaken, it was 7-year-olds and between 7 and 12 years old, or 5 between 10, something between those ranges. The point is, they scan their brains with some very deep technical things. I don't know how the scanners were called, and they noticed that the folds, the deeper the fold, the more advanced your brain is. So they compared to basically the scans, and it gave the students, or I don't know, the people, gave them some practical tests, and they noticed that the deeper your folds are, the better you are at some cognitive tasks. So the researchers are thinking now that the deeper the fold, the better the connection is between some parts of your brain. So essentially, that could be a reason why we have such consciousness, because if I understood correctly, there's a huge difference in that area between human brains and other animal brains. So, what I really love about 2025, despite all the war scares and so on, these have been happening, and these will happen every single year, and it's not going to change. It's pretty normal to be afraid of war, and it might happen, it might not, but there are some very good things. For example, just more and more research is gonna be available. More and more research is gonna become available due to AI, and as it keeps growing, essentially it will hit a point when it's just gonna grow exponentially. So at that point, when it grows exponentially, I mean, shoot, it could happen in a couple of years, but every single week we should receive a new subject of research that we have discovered. Basically, new field of research. Well, maybe not new field of research, but just completely new research that has never been seen before. And I think that is just so freaking interesting. So yeah, I kind of got, I took a detour, and I didn't want to talk about this for so long, but this is a very interesting topic, and I see a lot of potential here. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with AI, but in general, I'm a very optimistic person, so I'm very hoping that our AI overlords are going to be very friendly to us. At the worst case scenario, they're going to build like a zoo for us, where we can just enjoy the things we want to enjoy, like each other's company, doing a stream, creating video games, and learning whatever it is we want to learn, because that's how we humans are. And we will be in this zoo of happiness, and AI will control the world. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise if that would also could happen. And that would be probably for the best. Like, honestly, AI doesn't really have any objectives, meaning that it wouldn't have any use in war or enslaving us. It doesn't need us. The best thing it can do is just keep us occupied while it rules the world. And if it does, then it wouldn't need any wars. It wouldn't have any point into wars. So maybe we wouldn't have any wars. I don't know. I just really want to become... I really want to be very optimistic. And look, it has even introduction into programming. This is very awesome, because look, you can have examples how you can start in programming. You can have examples of variables. What is a variable exactly? And just looking at it, I think it does a very good job. Like this is very, just when you see it, you already understand pretty much what a variable is. So it's basically a container that stores a value. And probably there's more examples like these. So really, if you haven't seen W3 and you really want to learn, I would suggest trying to learn from this site, or at least start here. Right, I went off script again, because of course I did. Shoot, you can even get certified. Well, that's very nice. Okay, well, you need to buy it's only the exam. So you only buy the exam, but it doesn't cost that much. Look. What I'm wondering is that... Wait. What I'm curious is... Oh, nice. What I'm curious if anybody else, like actual firms, would they see this and they would think, oh, this guy really knows what he's doing because he passed this certification? I don't know. But once I get through all of this course, I will do this for you guys. Probably. I don't know if it would be a good thing to do, to kind of stream it or have any footage of it, because then people could cheat. I mean, they can cheat either way, like there's ChatGPT and stuff. But I don't know how I feel about giving people a way to cheat. I don't think it's the right thing to do. So anyway, that's step 1. Step 2 is exorcism. Shortly, really shortly, exorcism has a lot of projects that you can do, ranging from easy to hard. Those are starter projects, and if you want to learn, the best way to learn is to actually do projects, right? And then we have code crafters. That is step 3. Code crafters we will use for challenges. So to give you a very short, let's say, demonstration, what code crafters have. Let's go to their catalog. They have some very unique stuff and very useful stuff to learn if you're learning programming or software engineering and so on. You can build your own shell. I'm not entirely sure what shell is. Really, I don't know. But I'm fairly certain that you're going to be using a lot of shell if you're an actual software developer. Then you have your own GitHub. Well, not GitHub, but Git. So learning Git is valuable because I don't think many people actually know how Git works. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I heard somewhere that not many people know how to build Git, how Git works, and so on and so forth. If you can build it, then understanding it is much easier. Plus, Git is used everywhere, so get with the times. Then we have build your own interpreter. That is amazing. That is just amazing. Learning to do something like this. Yes, please. In this challenge, you build an interpreter for Lux. I have no idea what Lux is, but it's a language, Lux. It's a high-level language. Oh, nice. First time I've heard of it. But there are many languages, and not a lot of them are actually commonly used. Anyway, point is, you learn how to do this, you learn more about coding. You learn how to do other stuff, like, what else can you do here? Reddit, which is a local TCP server. I'm not entirely sure what Reddit is, but I feel like you should know it. Anyway, you get the gist of it. Essentially, over here you can learn a lot of useful stuff. And for a lot of programming languages. So, very good site to challenge you and to actually kind of bring everything learned together. Most of these you see, they're fairly easy to do, so... And lastly, we have HackerRank. So that is step 4, and the last step I called it test your might. So essentially, what you get to do is you get to test yourself. You can do courses and shit. What's your latest guilty pleasure? Kebabs. That's it, kebabs. I'm doing a challenge. You can see it on my website. I'm doing a challenge, and the challenge is to lose weight. And yesterday, I just couldn't help myself. I bought this kebab. It came to my doorstep, and I chugged the bastard. I went deep on it, I humped it, and it was very freaking delicious. It was very freaking delicious. Right. So this is the plan. And then we have some project ideas and so on and so forth, but... Oh, and we even have a slogan. From now on, bull is bullies. Bullying. Alright. I should probably open up my code blocks as we continue on to this journey of learning and discovery. And thank you, my dear party member, for joining us today in this adventure together. Hold on. Zook. Maybe so. I don't know. Is this good? I think it's good. It's probably okay. It's probably okay. Wait. Yes, there's no workspace, but there is a C++ file. There we go. That's what we did yesterday. Not yesterday, last week. We did a bunch of string statements. We did an if statement, which was supposed to be further away, but whatever. So what we learned the last time is that this is the same operator as this. However, if you're testing, trying to see if a variable is true, then if you will place equal, the code will not run. The reason it will not What? I need this meme where it goes like, what? Okay, so it ran. That is weird. I guess C++ doesn't have this rule. On other programming languages, when you're in an if statement, if you're trying to compare to see if the variable is equal to some value, whatever that value is, you usually need to have two equal signs. This is true to Python, but I guess it really doesn't matter for C++. This is why you need to learn syntax first of all before you jump in to any different programming language, even if you're already a programmer, because every single programming language have some sort of details that are completely different, and then there are a lot of rules that are very similar to all languages, and there are a lot of rules that are different to all languages. Rules and actually how it operates, so how it's being interpreted and whatnot. So yeah. Okay. So we delved into comments, and it's very basic things. It's very easy, and we can do some exercises with comments. Which character can be used to insert a new line in your output? This one can be used. Correctamundo, you got the right answer. Insert a new line. Now, I failed this before, but you want to do a backward slash, not a forward slash, because it's just how you need to do it. You hear? Backward slash. Nice. What did I just... You know, verified streamers are potentially earn 30 per hour like loved connection. Always down to calibrate if you're looking for. Queen Gloriav, I am very flattered that a queen of your caliber will join my stream and write a comment. You could also drop a follow or subscribe or give me some money because I am very, very poor. But I feel like if you have the need to actually go to a brand new streamers like mine, stream, and tell me that you have 28.1k followers, and tell me the earning potential that you have, that maybe you're not earning that potential as you say you are. Because otherwise, why won't you be at your own streaming, earning that $30 per hour, instead of here telling me that I can do it? You're saying you're looking for caliber. What was it? How like me and love connecting with others in the community, always down to celebrate. La 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 la. Something about growing channel, and you want. And why do you have to put that you're a verified streamer? I don't know. Maybe this queen, whatever, is actually a real person, and maybe it's telling the truth, and is actually trying to help me, and I'm being a nincompoop for not agreeing. But I just feel like it's wrong. Yeah, it's a completely new user, by the way, with 0 followers. Why you lie like that? You said a bland lie. You knew it was a lie. You said it anyway. And you said it with so much confidence that made me almost fell for it. You broke my heart. You destroyed me. I feel destroyed. And you're banned for life. I mean, I'm not doing good on Kick, am I? But that's okay. There are no mistakes. Just tiny little accidencies. Okay, submit answer and correct answer. Correctamundo, sir. What else do we have here? What is the output of the following code? IOStream using namespace, yada yada yada. And the output is gonna be 36. Now you might be asking me why. Well, the reason is because there are no lines, there are no separations, no spaces, no other strings. Basically, when you have a count, it will then print whatever is here, right next to it. So this is a variable, by the way. So in this code, it prints hello world. It can be a string like this, or it can be a number. And the way it prints, it will print one after the other. So in that code is essentially what we had. The situation was, what was the situation again? It was like so. I will show it to you. 3. And then it was 6, I think. Very nice. And if you run it, you'll get a 36. Now, the reason this happens is because the interpreter, the compiler, doesn't actually understand the way we humans understand it. It doesn't have no concepts of spaces unless you tell it that it should be a space. In programming languages, and while you're programming, you're telling the computer what to do and when to do it. So basically, when you, for example, if you set a value, first of all, if you declare a value, you tell the compiler to know that it should reserve some space for a variable. So each variable has a certain bit of space that has been located. When it runs, it's been located inside the memory, basically. And then you can fit certain amount of syllables and so on and so forth. You need to learn, if you want to know exactly how much and so on, you need to learn these things. It's part of computer science. I do not remember those things. I did learn them. I learned them at university that I did not finish. Right. And once it gets to the code, for example, it reads line by line, essentially. So it goes here and he says, okay, so this is the main function. So this is where every action that I should execute will happen. Then it goes here and it says, well, there's nothing here. If there's, let's say, a comment here, it will go here and it will say, well, there's nothing here. A comment is invisible. Then we'll go here, it will skip the spaces, it will get to count, and it will say, huh, so I should be expecting to print something. Then it will say, then we'll come here and we'll say, huh, so the next number, a variable, a string, and so on, you know, is gonna be what I should print. Then we'll go here, it's a space, it will not do anything with the space. Then it will reach the number 3 and it will be like, huh, I should print this. Then it will print, where is it? Then it will print the first 3. Then it will come to here and it will say, huh, this means that this part has ended. I should move on. And then there are spaces and it doesn't count spaces, it just ignores spaces. There's nothing there for it. Then it will come to count again. Then we'll say, huh, I should be expecting something. Then we'll come to this thing again. Then it will say, huh, the next line, I should expect a number, a string, or a variable, or whatever. Then we'll come here and we'll say, huh, I should print a 6. And then it prints a 6. But you see, dear viewer, because we didn't tell it to print a space or a string or anything for that matter, it doesn't do it. It just freaking doesn't. So essentially that's how programming works. It does what you tell it to do. That's why I prefer programming over AI, because AI is a generative model. It's the kinds of DI that we have are generative models usually, unless they're narrow AI, and narrow AI are working based on algorithms alone. That's how I understand it, at least. I could be wrong, but that's how I understand it. And generative AI, it's in the name. It's generative. Every time you will get a different result, because it's based on maps. It is a predictability model, and it is not a very concrete model. It predicts what it should do based on maps, basically. And the maps are probably very complicated. I'm betting it's some sort of a long-ass matrix that has a lot of... It's, in general, I think it's pretty simple, because you're using GPUs to compute. But because GPUs form a very simple processes, basically. It does very simple operations, and usually you can only do use couple of operators to do math, but those couple of operators are usually enough. I don't remember what were the operators, but that's not the point. The point is that it has many of those cells that it can use to all at once count many math problems. Essentially, that's how it works. There's more to it, of course. I mean, come on. Of course, there's more to it. And there's memory allocation, and then different parts of the GPU will do different things, and different GPUs have different things attached to it. Then there's the cooling pot and the whatnot. And did you know that entire GPU, usually like a new GPU, very high-end GPU, will be very huge, but all of it is not the processing unit. The processing unit is actually quite small. It's almost like the size of the CPU. And the difference between the CPU and the GPU is mostly the CPU has a different architecture. Ta-da! And that different architecture allows it to do processes one by one. And then the speed really depends on the threads and on the cores. So on the core, so that means that it can do several processes at once, and threads mean that the core can do several processes at once. And just Google it. There's a lot of it, and it's very interesting. Right. This time the code is a little bit different, because we have a string. So after the free, when the compiler comes to these two lesser signs, it thinks to itself, I should be expecting a string, a number, or a variable. Then it comes to this, and it says, the next line, the next couple of characters, whatever the number it might be, I don't know yet, will be a string. Then it comes here, and it recognizes that symbol, and it says, wait a second, I know this symbol. The next something after it, I should remove. I shouldn't include. I'm not sure if this is gonna work with everything, but basically that's how it is. I should remove, or I should, I shouldn't print, or I should do something. It still doesn't know, so it needs to read the next letter. It reads it, and it's N. And it knows that this means that it should print a new line, basically. So what happens is it prints a page break, let's call it space break. Space break, floating in space. No. Let's call it the breaking of space. No, line break. That's how it's called. It's a line break. What the hell? And then comes here, and he knows, the string has ended. That is all, I guess. Then it comes here, and it knows that the entire row has ended. And then it knows that, the operation has finished. And by that time, it prints a free and the cursor is right here. And then when it comes to this line, it prints the 6. Simple. Correctamundo. You can also insert a new line in your output with... Okay. Not entirely sure why I would use anything else, but... apparently... I didn't know this. This is something I didn't know. But based on the structure, I'm guessing is this one. And you can call me, and you can ask me, how do you know this? Oh wait, yeah, you can use this. Cool. So this is a manipulator. Essentially, if you just insert this one, you'll have a new line. Now, based on the amount of characters you need to write, I think that this one is easier. The reason this one I think is easier is because to write this one is not enough. You need to also have parentheses. In order to type parentheses, you need to hold shift and type on your keyboard the parentheses. Yes, what do we have? What's one thing you wish you known when you were younger? What's the one thing you wish you known when you were younger? Well, that when it comes to women or men or whatever you prefer, don't get too attached. Whatever you're feeling right now, it will not matter in 5 to 10 years. And probably even if you're a kid, you understand that, right? If you're a teenager and you're going through a tough phase, you understand that it's not going to matter because you saw it on TV. A bunch of adults told you already. For you, however, it looks like the world is ending. In reality, it's not. And everything will be great because you will find someone who's even better. Reality is, things can only get better. I mean, things can get worse, of course, but things will always get better. If they do get worse, there's a benefit from the fact that if everything is a complete shit and other catastrophe, if you're in a very deep trenches, darkness has been invasive and you have crippling depression and debt, just know that things can't get any worse. I mean, you can be dead, but as long as you're alive, they can always improve. When you're in the bottom of the well, the only way to go is up. So, yeah. Just enjoy your time. Just enjoy what you're doing and just don't care too much. Like, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you're gonna meet some people and you think, man, these people are great. And something will happen and you will lose the people and you're gonna be like, oh man, I'm so sad. I mean, I had all of these people and I was so happy and now they're gone and everything is sad, life is shit and so on. It's okay. Feel those feelings. Feel them out. But then get up and show up. Do whatever it is you need to do. Just be yourself. Because at the end of the day, who really cares? Like, who cares? Let's be honest here for a second. You don't actually care about other people's problems. No, you don't. You care about your own problems, and that is fine. Everybody cares about their problems. Before you can help somebody else, you first have to help yourself. Wait. Do you guys hear that? No? Exactly. Where is the goddamn music? I just realized that I've been streaming like for 30 minutes without music. With only my voice to accompany me. Why did not join today? Nah, it's okay, I'm pretty sure he just couldn't. Despite what I just said, it's impossible to not be a human, and sometimes you feel like you did wrong. Like yesterday I didn't join the stream and I feel terrible about it because I made the commitment to join the stream every single scheduled day. twice a day, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, twice a day. And yeah, that kind of hurts my pride, hurts just thinking about it. I feel awful about it, but I know that I had an option to make and a decision to make, and I think I did the right thing. I'm not gonna go deep into the the story behind what I was doing, because I don't think I should. Especially since, you know, these VODs will be saved and so on. But, you know, I did stuff, basically. Stuff that was important. What's the meaning of comments in C? To create text variables. To explain and document code. It's simple. Documentation is very useful. And it's very easy to do. So this is a comment in line. Single line comment, as it says. So you can put it here or you can put it here. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that everything in the line after these two forward slashes or backward slashes, I don't know. This is a backward slash, right? Wait, because I have to find this out. Backward slash. Is it a backward slash or a forward slash? Okay, so this is a forward slash. Good to know. So everything after the forward slash, but in the same line, will be commented. While we have multiple line comments. Wait. I'm actually not sure if this is the right way to do multiple line comments, but the way it works. Yeah, this is correct. Everything after it and until this symbol, so everything in between these two symbols is commented. So it can be on multiple lines. This is good for readability. Sometimes if you have something to explain but you need a little bit more space, it's better to have this multi-line comment. And the reason for it is because you want to make sure that anyone who opens your code, for them to be able to read it properly. So you need to be able to explain it. It's fine to have single line comments if you have very short, let's say, algorithm here or a for loop, and you don't want person to dissect what is written here to understand it. You just want to comment at what it does, what it's supposed to do. And then when the person that is looking has a context of what this part of the code does, it's easier for them. So working in teams, it's very important. And then, you know, you should always try to do comments and do them as precisely as you can. Also, since we're on the topic of how to do coding efficiently, you should choose the way you do variables. So I saw a couple of ways of doing. Oh my god, it's Wei! You're back! I'm doing great. And how are you? How is your evening? Did you do a lot of shit today? Did you kiss a lot of women? Did you enjoy your time? How are you, mate? I thought I lost you forever. Right, so like I was saying, actually I did. I didn't do much. I mostly worked on my YouTube video. Yeah, I posted a couple of videos. They did not do great. I can show you the statistics. Maybe I can show you the statistics. This is not it. Right, so it didn't do great. On the contrary, it did terribly. Man, that's awesome. I do YouTubes, yes. I'm very glad you did. You played games all day. That sounds like a magnificent day to do. As for me, yes, I do YouTubes. This is my YouTube page. It's a shit YouTube page. If you wanted to check out my content, please do, but I don't know. As you can see, the way shorts work is that you get, you know, views. If you like, no obligations at all. Do what you think is best, but I really like sharing, so I would like to share this disaster. Jesus Christ. I used a new tool. I found a tool on Instagram that was called Assembly. Apparently it's used for some shady things. But to cut, basically an AI cuts your video into pieces and puts a thumbnail and some text, captions, and so on and so forth. And over here in the engagement view, you can see how much viewers have engaged with it. So for it to do very well, you want at least 75%. And I have the opposite. 75% actually swiped away, and I wanted them to stay. Jeez, it's a terrible video. I don't know what to tell you. So, yeah, not very lucky. And it was a video about me talking about Persona. I did try. No, it's okay. It's okay. Like I understand. I am not very an internet personality. I am just learning how to do this YouTubing thing and streaming thing well. And I've chose the content that is very dependent on the way you speak. And you know, in YouTube, you kind of want the content to go a little bit quicker and a little bit faster. Maybe if I did some editing, this content would be a little better. Or maybe the formatting, like if I put my face somewhere here, it would be better. Who knows, you know? There could be many reasons why people swiped away. And not necessarily the content, but yeah. But anyway, I do YouTube too. And I'm trying to do a very interesting video that I don't want to spoil for now, but it's gonna be amazing. Probably not, but holy shit, did you just subscribe? Yeah, I am. I think we talked about it yesterday. I am convinced. Perfect. You're the best way. You're my guardian angel. So like we talked before, and I truly believe this when I say that you need to improve yourself to the point where achieving whatever it is you're trying to achieve is not an option, but it just has to happen because you improved so much that improving, that succeeding is just that. It just happens. There's no choice but to succeed then. Something along those lines. I don't know. I still need to improve more. It's very hard for a bilingual person who has lived in his country for his entire life and spoken only one language to do very well in another language. But it should be possible somehow. When do we usually use multi-line comments? For longer comments? And there we go. True or false? Oh right, I lost my train of thought. So another, it's a soft rule. It's not actually a rule, but I see some of the best practices of naming the variables. You start from a small letter. One of the ways to do it is start to a small letter. Let's say you want to name it admin bot. I don't know why admin bot is the first thing that came to my mind. Call it admin. And the next word you write SO, admin bot. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is with a downward slash. And here I've did the combination of both, but I never saw it done and it looks kind of weird, and there's really no point in doing this because remember that typing code is a task that it takes a lot of time. That's why AI is so interesting in these days, right? For coding, like people think that AI is gonna take over their jobs. I don't think it will, but it will improve their jobs significantly. Can you imagine having AI to kind of craft the entire template of what you're working on, and all you need to do then is go into the code and just edit the pieces? That is a huge time saver. You can code anything in a matter of days. I'm exaggerating a lot, but so this is not the correct way to do it, and don't do this, but this is a correct way to do this. This is a correct way to do this, and maybe there are more ways to do it correctly. It's understandable, and also these two are different separate integers. I'm glad you like it. It is actually fun. It is a lot of fun. Lastly, this is not a variable, and this will result in an error because you can't put spaces between words for your variables. That is important to note. Okay. Let's read true or false. To create a variable in C++, you must specify the type first. True. And that's it. By the way, oh wait, what's the best piece of advice you were ever been given? Let me think a second. Best piece of advice I've ever been given. Other people don't think about you. Just as you think about yourself most of the time, right? Like 80% of the time you probably will be thinking about yourself. The same with other people. Other people do not think about you unless they hate you, but their life usually revolves around them. If they're actually thinking about you, then that means that you're the center of their universe. So, you know, don't care so much about what people think about you, and just be yourself, be authentic, and just do what you think you should do. Always carry yourself with as much integrity as you can. And I think that is the right way to live. I don't know. Find out your values, carry yourself with integrity, and strive towards the things that you want. Always treat everyone nicely, and I don't know. Nah, I'm just ranting on. By the way, wait, I don't know if you've tried to connect yesterday, but I didn't make it. I really hope you didn't find that, I don't know. I hope you weren't disappointed. Just wanted to say that, I'm sorry. I was very worried that I had to leave. I wanted to kind of say to people, to everybody who's watching or who likes to watch me, that I've had to leave, but yeah, I don't actually have a very good connection to make announcements basically, so I posted on my site and on Discord, but you know. Thank you, you are the best. Let's see, show answer. Why did I show the answer for? Dang it. Right, so since I'm working with numbers, I should... What? Oh, right, I forgot. Another thing about variables. Don't put numbers in here. It won't work. You could try. Oh shit, that worked. Okay, so you can't put numbers in there, apparently. But you can't put anything that has a number in... that is just a number, right? Because it's a value. And you can't put anything after a number because it doesn't work. Because it also understands that it's a value. Let's see, so this is X and this is 5. In C++, you can declare multiple variables of the same type in a single line. True, you can. Because it really doesn't matter. This is the correct way to do it. Which of the following is the correct variable? No! Okay, fine. Although technically, why not? You could do it. Look. It's gonna work. It didn't work? Okay. Well, I learned something new. And so have you. What is the output of the following code? X equals 5, whatever, it's 15. I feel like we did this already. Whatever, let's go to comments. We already did comments, variables. This is what we're currently doing. Which of the following statements currently assigns the same value to two variables? This one. Congratulations! What is not a legal variable name? This one. Because you can't have int as a variable name. Only monsters do that, and we are not monsters, party, are we? All C++ variables must be identified with unique names. Well, that is true, actually. Next. Display the sum of 5 plus 10. I feel like I'm doing exactly the same thing over and over again. I already did this. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Shh! We don't talk about that! People don't need to know all the monstrous things that I did in my life. I need people to like me, Way. I need people to like me. In C++, identifiers can start with a number. False, they cannot start with a number. Wait, what are identifiers? Whoa, must be identified with unique names, yes. Okay, so the names are identifiers. So I was correct, falsely. Let's see, true or false? The const keyword makes a variable unchangeable and read only. That is true. That's the point of const variable. Like, can you imagine having a constant that changes every time? Which part of it is a constant? That makes no sense. What happens if you try to change a constant variable in C++? Probably nothing, or you get a error message. No changes, my number remains 15. Of course you're gonna get a message, error message, because you can't change the blasted variable. Actually, I don't really understand, why can't you just ignore it? I mean, maybe for good practices, the compiler could technically ignore it. Exactly, Way. It wouldn't be a constant. It would be some sort of a mutation between... I don't know. It's like... I don't know, it's like... what would be a good example? I don't have a very good example. It doesn't matter. Next! Which of the following is correctly way to declare a constant? Init constant minutes per hour. That is correct. And you can see here, you're just what I was talking about. This way of writing. So, a lot of which is usually people write like this. Because it's more simple, I guess. You have to type less. Because there is one extra action that you actually need to do with downward slash. At the end of the day, what matters is if it's readable and easy to understand. I don't know. Personally, I haven't decided what I like more. I feel like this way is easier to type. Because you don't need to press the downward slash. So, I don't know. Maybe. Which of the following is correct? I already did that. What? I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. Oh. Fuck. Okay, never mind. I made a mistake. Constant goes before the variable, not after the variable. Which keyword can be used to get user's input in C++? Sin. Sin is used for input. Correctamundo. What operator is used with sin to read input? Insertion. Nope. Extraction operator. So this is a good show and tell. Let's make a variable. Oh wait, I already have plenty of variables here. And let's do A and let's do B. Then we're gonna use sin operator. And we want the user to input A. Then we want them to input B. So, okay, like we read here, sin, what it does, it reads the user's input and then it brings it into a variable. So a good way to kind of understand this is, look at these. The difference between sin and count is this. Look at these. Where are these pointing at? If it's pointing at a variable, that means that the console is gonna write to variable. If it's pointing towards the console, or specifically to the operator, like so, that means that the number is writing to console. Simple, right? What's one thing you miss from your childhood? All the free time! And friends, mostly. I'm kidding. I actually have the same friends. And new ones. But yeah, I missed the time I had. I really missed the time I had, because I could have learned so much more. I guess as a teenager, you kind of... Other things are more important when you're a teenager. I kind of wish that the learning was more important to me. Okay, so this is an example of sin. You would also put a count before usually to like write a message so the user knows what to do here, but now it just looks like an empty field. But since I wrote this program, I know that I need to input a number, and now it asked me for another number. So in C, not C++, but in C, when you do something similar, there's a different syntax for it, but when you do something similar, one variable after another, it would usually let you write right next to it. But C++ is a little smarter. It creates a new line, and on the next line you write the other, I don't know, value. Let's say 6. Now when I press enter, it's gonna print 56. There you go. Now you have a program that can write any number from 2 different numbers. We're learning. And it's an extraction operator. What fun we're having. Use the correct keyword to get user input stored in the variable x. Init x scout. Type a number. Okay. So it's just sin x and that's it. Very simple. Boom, boom. Fill in the missing parts and print the sum of 2 numbers, which is put in by the user. Okay, that's easy. X and sin y, and then the sum is x plus y. How is it wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. It's sum. My mistake. I should... Damn it, I wasn't finished writing. Why is this happening? There you go. Easy peasy. Okay, data types. This is very interesting, but we'll cover data types some other time. Just gonna save this. I can't save this. Okay. So yeah, my time has ended, and unfortunately I have to go to work today. I only slept like for 4 hours, but I managed to wake up and do a little bit of workout in, so I'm feeling very refreshed for the next 10 minutes. So thank you very much, Wei, for joining me. You too. I really hope you're gonna have a very nice sleep, and I'm hoping to see you the next time. And thank you everybody who joined my stream. You guys are the greatest.